hold on tight and don't lose that grip, because we are talking about the Batman movie again. But it's actually good this time. Only a day since many a pundit and news site hit the panic button on Affleck's remarks, new reports have been emerging stating that Ben Affleck plans to shoot the solo Batman movie in Los Angeles. According to BatmanNews.com, sources tell the site that Ben Affleck plans to shoot the Batman in Los Angeles. Batman on Film has heard the same. In 2012, Christopher Nolan shot some of The Dark Knight Rises in LA, though it sounds like Affleck will be shooting the bulk of his movie there. First of all, whether it be an independent media publication like Batman News or an established outlet like Variety, always remain cautiously optimistic unless there's something concrete issued by the studio. For instance, a press release from Warner Bros. Outlining shooting locations would be concrete, so this is all hypothetical for now. But let's operate from the position for a second and presume that these sources were correct. Then I'd wager that they'd probably do the majority of filming on the Warner Bros. Studio lot in Burbank. As a resident of Los Angeles since the age of 3 weeks old, I don't see many places here that would match up with Gotham other than downtown, and the Art Deco design could match up with the architecture we associate with Gotham, but that's only a few blocks here and there. So maybe those locations could be a candidate, but my gut says it'd probably be done on a lot if they're shooting in LA. But before we move on from DC, in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Michael Keaton revealed the moment that he knew to pass on Batman Forever. If you'll recall, Michael Keaton played the Cape Crusader in 1989's Batman and its sequel Batman Returns in 1992, with Tim Burton at the helm of both. But because Batman Returns was critically panned and perceived by audiences as both too dark and too sexual, Burton was stripped of the director's chair, and Joel Schumacher was brought in by the studio to add a lighter tone to the series. So when asked of his impression of the script that he was shown, Keaton replied, "It sucked. I knew it was in trouble when he," meaning Schumacher, said, "Why does everything have to be so dark?" And dark, that film is not. Let's do some quickies here before we move on to the main piece. We have our first look at the putties from Power Rangers thanks to concept designs from a toy manufacturer. No thank you. And we have a blurred vision of Bryan Cranston as Zordon, which is fine. I don't need Zordon to be a head floating in this glass tank. If he's floating above dirt, that's quite alright. We also have our first look at Chris Hemsworth and director Taika Waititi on the set of Thor Ragnarok. If you'll recall, the release summary for the film read as follows. In Marvel Studios' Thor Ragnarok, Thor is imprisoned on the other side of the universe without his mighty hammer and finds himself in a race against time to get back to Asgard to stop Ragnarok, the destruction of his homeworld and the end of his guardian civilization at the hands of an all-powerful new threat, the ruthless Hela. But first he must survive a deadly gladiatorial contest that pits him against his former ally and fellow Avenger, the Incredible Hulk. But now to Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds has set high hopes that Logan will become the first film of the superhero genre to land an Oscar nomination in a top category other than special effects, sound, and the other usual fare. In a cover story for Variety, Ryan Reynolds said, "Logan looks like a movie that might break that glass ceiling. I know firsthand that it's amazing. I've seen some of it. It's mind-blowing. It relies a lot on character. But will Deadpool actually beat Logan to the punch? Industry insiders are confirming that 20th Century Fox is running an Oscar campaign for Deadpool after its unexpected Golden Globe nomination, with the hopes of it landing a Best Picture slot at the Oscars. When Variety asked Hugh Jackman about Deadpool's campaign, he said the following: "When I hosted the Oscars, Batman didn't get nominated, and everyone was talking about it. It's a stretch to say that these are the injustices in life. We are happy and making movies. But I love it when someone like Ryan gets recognized. These big budget or comic book movies are not easy to pull off." Let's talk about The Dark Knight, because I remember how big of a controversy that was. I remember, I was there, I survived it. It's quite frankly the main reason why the Oscar nominations changed from 5 to 10 potential nominees, because it was one of the year's biggest blockbusters and was critically praised. The reason why is that The Dark Knight was the first superhero movie that was intelligent, layered, and emotionally charged, and that's what left audiences riveted, because it wasn't just a good Batman movie, it was an excellent film that many of us felt was worthy of serious Oscar consideration. But back to the article. When Variety asked Jackman if he would one day accept being Wolverine in a Deadpool film, Jackman said, "I'm hesitating because I could totally see how that's the perfect fit, but the timing may be wrong." But sure enough, Ryan Reynolds isn't one to back down, basically replying, "I have no idea if I can change his mind. It's the audience. I would exclusively exploit that relationship to get Hugh back for another one." Now, hesitating is a far cry from before where it was a flat out no, so maybe in time Reynolds can actually wear him down because it would be great to see the two on screen together. But would there be a story? Well, according to Reynolds, yes, there would be. We have outlines and stories for a number of different films, he said. For the Golden Globes, Deadpool is up for Best Motion Picture in the musical or comedy category and is up against 20th Century Women, Florence Foster Jenkins, La La Land, and Sing Street, the latter two being the stiffest competition against Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds is up for Best Actor in musical or comedy and is competing against Colin Farrell, Ryan Gosling, Hugh Grant, and Jonah Hill. Oop, wait a minute. The Writers Guild of America has announced that Deadpool has been nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, so Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick will be going head-to-head against Fences, Arrival, Hidden Figures, and Nocturnal Animals. And that's crazy because when you think about it, the Writers Guild of America, their nominees usually become Oscar contenders, so bravo. Ooh, one more. Deadpool's Julian Clark has now been nominated for the America Cinema Editors Eddie Awards for Best Edited Feature Film in the comedy category. Julian Clark, of course, being Deadpool's editor. That's pretty mind-blowing, and I think that what makes this even more monumental is the fact that Deadpool was shelved until the leak of the test footage. Fox didn't want to budget for the writers to be on set, so Ryan Reynolds paid out of his own pocket to have them there every day, and for 5 years Reynolds was paying for those two to put the screenplay together in the hopes that one day Deadpool would be greenlit. So this is all... Jeez, I think Deadpool is actually a serious contender now for the Oscars, but let me know what you think. Do you think Deadpool will have a real shot at an Oscar nomination? I'm starting to lean towards yes. I think this is a 50-50 shot here. Are you sick of hearing about the Batman until we have something concrete? Let me know down in the comments below. And hey, be sure to check out movienews-and-reviews.us for the latest in news, trailers, featurettes, and more. So be sure to check us out. And remember, please subscribe so that you're notified in your newsfeed when the next video is uploaded. Please remember to give this video a like and share it about and help support this channel through Patreon and using any of the affiliate links in the description below. You people are awesome, as always. And thanks for watching.